Hello, ladies and gentlemen of District 31. My name is Dan DiNardo. I'm standing for election to the House of Representatives for the state of Alaska. Now, I've been building a few YouTube presentations, and this is the third one in that presentation. I'm going to build a number of them, but what I want to talk about tonight is the All-Alaska Gas Pipeline. Now, we know that the legislature passed the Canadian Route Pipeline, but that is a total financial fraud. That pipeline will never be built. Also, what's interesting is recently Northcom, which is the U.S. military headquarters down in Colorado, signed an agreement with the Canadian military allowing the Canadian military to cross the U.S. border into the lower 48 or Alaska and intervene in any civil unrest or any construction projects that they consider that are in national interest. That would include the pipeline that is earmarked to go through Canada. That is an absolute outrage, and it shows you the level of sophisticated criminalism that is behind building that pipeline through Canada. Canada is also going to be able to obtain total control over the gas reserves in Prudhoe Bay because they'll have the wherewithal to stop the flow of gas to the lower 48, which puts our national security in serious jeopardy. But allowing their military to come into Alaska at their own discretion is an absolute abomination and has not been discussed by any legislator at any time, and neither has the governor mentioned this. We heard so much about how is this pipeline going to be financed. That is one of the things that I am very critical of, because financing a project of that nature, you've already heard about $30 billion, $35 billion, that is an absolute absurdity. 99% of that financing of that gas line is based upon the projections of the interest on the principal that needs to be borrowed to build it. It's called usury. It's the foundation of the criminalism in what they call the financial institutional network that basically presents itself as an economy and as the ruler of that economy. If you read the Declaration of Independence and if you read the U.S. Constitution, particularly Article 1, Section 10, it states specifically that the states have an inalienable right to mint gold and silver coin. In fact, it is incumbent upon them. It specifically states the states shall make nothing in tender of payment of debt but gold and silver coin. We have the world's greatest resources for gold and silver. It's just a simple operation to mint our own gold and silver coin and to build that pipeline absolutely free of charge with no usury. You could build that pipeline for approximately $5 to $6 billion, and that would be the maximum. And it actually would probably come in, I would estimate, about $3.75 billion. And if we could commence it tomorrow, all of this work has been done, all of the surveying, all of the engineering, it's mere child's play, because these pipelines like this are built all over the world. And we're always told, well, this is going to be the largest project of its kind. And all they want to do is they want to mesmerize you, they want to impress you, because they want to keep total hands-on control. This should be built by Alaskans, and not through a corporate effort, but through an associational effort. An association is an organization in an organized plan by Alaskans to build their own pipeline. We don't need corporations. And we can buy the steel, we can do all the engineering, and the pipeline should be strictly used to transfer that resource to all throughout Alaska through branching pipeline networks, probably using Fairbanks as a hub, and maybe possibly Talkeetna or maybe a little bit further south. But that is how that pipeline should be built. We should start it now. It shouldn't be commenced years from now. In fact, that is the fundamental way that the new republic, the Alaskan Republic, is going to build its foundation for an industrial complex, strictly owned and operated by Alaskans, is to use our resources. Our resources are not to be used in international commerce to fuel this gigantic war machine that is in continual perpetual motion throughout the world. Mr. Hickel's idea to ship it to China is absolutely absurd. The Soviet Union doesn't need our gas. We need our gas. The lower 48, they have ample supplies coming to them from other foreign sources, and they also have Canada that already has an extensive network, and there's also projects that are going to be built on the East Coast to accept LNG transport. So we don't need to ship our gas there. We need to use it for Alaskans and quit allowing the so-called Federalists in Washington, D.C. to run the state of Alaska, because we are, in fact, an independent country. We're not a contracted and contractual international corporation, although that is the way it's set up right now, because there is no United States, as I pointed out before. Per the decision in Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, decided in 1937, it declared that there is no United States in existence at that point, and henceforth it is nothing but a contractual arrangement under international law. Now, I'm going to stop on this topic at this point, and I invite you to tune in again to YouTube under Daniel DiNardo, and I'm going to continue this discussion and also a more basic discussion in general over what is a money system and how do we implement that in Alaska to develop our freedoms, our choice of our own destiny that's specifically spoken of in the book of Revelation, the great land of the great eagle. Thank you very much.